Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, this is a bonus reading for Taurus. And our card tonight is the Magician. And this comes from Tarot of the Abyss deck. Okay, and let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. We have Titi here, of course. She is, as I always say, the best part of these readings. She's always happy to visit. Okay, so immediately I'm looking at this formation here, and it reminds me of one of these Phoenician gods. Now, I don't know exactly which god, and maybe not Phoenician, but also could be Babylonian, because I am thinking of the gates of Ishtar when I look at this. And if you have not seen the gates of Ishtar, you should go look it up on one of those search engines and see just how beautiful this work is. I mean, they're very old. I don't know, maybe, 5,000 BC or somewhere around there. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. But they are kind of these lion-like creatures, and they are not unlike the Sphinx. They look similar to not the Egyptian Sphinx, but our other depictions of the Sphinx, which there are a few, including the Greek. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what the name of that god or creature is, but I know that they are a keeper of gates, of portals, of entryways. Okay, so I look at this and it totally resonates with me in this way that it feels like, okay, you're coming to this big transition into the next cycle. Okay, we also are right on the cusp of the spring equinox, okay, or the fall equinox there in the southern hemisphere. So that could be an indicator that, hey, we're getting close to getting into these very important. Here we go. We have Pudgy coming to visit now. These very important seasonal changes. Okay, but I do think that there is a sense of being very aware and protective of self and the things that you have established in your life. Hello. You want to come over here too? Come here. Now, dear old Pudgy over here just had a birthday, and I think I said that the other day I said he's going to be 17, but I think I'm wrong. I think he's going to be 16, or he is. He had his birthday yesterday. And now he is the ripe old age of 16. So happy birthday to Pudgy boy. So, yes, I feel like you're very protective of the things that you have established in your life. Absolutely not going to squander the work that you have put in. I think that there are times in our life where, and I'm thinking about this because I'm in the process of packing and getting things ready to move, which we will have new studios soon. And I say we, Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband Paul over there, and I have new workspaces. And as I am getting ready for this move, I'm looking at things that you work hard to get certain things accomplished in your life, and you have these little little symbols or little items that kind of mark these parts of your journey. You put a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears into them, and then you get to a point where it's like, okay, now I'm going to be moving, or things have kind of just really, my life is in a different place, and you look and you think, oh, that's a really fond memory. But do I really need this thing anymore? Do I need to carry it with me through another relocation? And so, I think that this is a time where you are keeping the things that are meaningful to you. And I don't just mean physical items. I feel like the things that you have learned, your skills, the techniques you have become masterful of, your mindfulness, the way that you live your life with others, your relationships, the dynamics, all these beautiful things that you have, spent a lot of time honing and going through trial and error and ordeals. And these are the things you'll keep hold of, right? But I think that on the other hand, it's like there are things that just do not serve you well anymore, and you know that. And if you have already kind of dispelled that from your life, or if it's something that you're still working on, right? This is the time where you are really making some pretty precise decisions, and sometimes it feels like it's a little bit brutal, hard to kind of let go of, but also very important. Okay, and as I'm thinking of this, I'm very inspired by the mothers that I know in my life, the many mothers. And not to leave you out, fathers, you are important as well, of course. But I'm a mother myself, so I notice a little bit more, maybe. The mothers that have had to really sometimes make absolutely tough decisions so that they can provide the best kind of life, the best environment, have the, have things in such a way that they feel comfortable, and as you become a mom, it becomes easier to say no to people. It becomes easier to, absolutely, go way out of your way to do the thing that, maybe you never saw yourself doing, but you do it for your kids, don't you? And so as I'm seeing that, it's coming up in my mind because it's something I've been thinking about a lot. I've really noticed, especially in my private life, some of the family that I have, some of the friends that I have, just, I am just so, beloved of the mother-child relationship, because there's a fierceness there, just a protective nature that is awe-inspiring to me. Okay, now let's see. I love this one. It looks like we have a person here who's standing. We have a bird. It looks like a snake, maybe a dove and serpent there. I don't know. We also have what I estimate to be a temple. It very much feels like a temple to me. And we have another bird kind of sitting here watching. And now on the other side of all of this, including it looks like a mountain, but including, we have a little sailboat up here. Okay, and then we have a person over here. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is like a hero's journey. This is like, really getting into the nitty gritty of life, of self-mythology, of our own story. And I can see that you have, I mean, it's like no joke. You have gone in head first, really working on aspects of your experience as a being, as a spiritual being, as an emotional being. And I can see that you've really had to work through, some real emotional, traumatic things, probably from your past, throughout your sometime in your life, right? But I feel that in my mind, I see these kind of, when we talk about these things on here, I start to sometimes get little glimpses of imagery, right? And I get this feeling that there's a sense of trying to deal with some of this stuff at an earlier age, by being the toughest, right? Maybe being the loudest and like you're gonna get them before they get you. Nobody's gonna mess with you. Nobody can say nothing to you, and this kind of posturing, and I think this was kind of developed to protect you from your circumstances, and yeah, you were not going to be gotten, right? And so I think as you got older and your life changed a bit, and there became a softness there growing, and now I think there's nothing wrong with becoming a soft person. I think it's, one of the great miracles of life when we have been through hell, right? We have had to claw our way out of, whatever the circumstances we were born into, were surrounding us, the pain, the abuses, the cruelty that maybe, it's perpetuated onto us around and ambiently in our life, even, maybe the area you grew up in was kind of rough, or, there's the schools you went to, there were a lot of bullying and fighting and this kind of thing. And maybe, within the family, and maybe all of it, right? But I think that you found your way through this, and you didn't let it make you a cruel person. Now, I think that you definitely took up for yourself, which, even if you're a very evolved being and a very, mostly passive being, sometimes you have to still do that. But I think that you came into a softness in your heart, kind of just took over. And I can see you coming to a place of faith, a place of spirituality, a place where you found a home in the love of the divine, in the security of knowing that you are a beloved being, and I say this in a lot of the readings because I think it's true, and I think it's something that a lot of us don't think about. I forget it. But it is that you are absolutely a miracle, just in this very instance, this moment that you are alive right now. Not just because you were born, although that also is a miracle, but every millisecond of your existence is a continued and renewed miracle. It takes infinite variables to align for you to be right here in this moment, for your body, the many systems of your physical body to be functioning in such a way that support life, and for consciousness to be attached to that body, and to be in an environment that supports not only your life but many lives, and so on and so on and so on. So you are absolutely always and always and always will be a miracle. And when we come into the light of the divine, when we come into this understanding of the universe, if you believe in a god or goddess or divinity or something supernatural or whatever it is, or not, maybe you don't. Maybe you are questioning. Maybe you are curious. It doesn't matter. The universe, as we perceive it, is something bigger than ourselves. And so whatever you believe, if it is, religious or spiritual or not, scientific or not, it in my mind, it is a miracle. You are a miracle. Okay. And so I think you've come into you at some point, and you are there, and I can see it's kind of like that gateway we talked about, that temple, that interior place that you have come to know. And so began the spiritual path, which is not easy. This is really, one of the many stories we know, right? The Odyssey or the Inferno or, whatever. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I don't know. There are a lot of them, right? And you have had to traverse some very difficult places. And I think that this is why you have found yourself in a place where your relationship with your own being is very strong, and that translates into your mundane life, where you are making money, where you have a career, where you have a family, or maybe you have a family, or whatever you perceive to be a family, which, listen, any kind of thing is a configuration of a family. If you live among a bunch of plants and they are your children, then that is a family. If it's your animal companions, if you have a lot of children, or, romantic relationships and so on, whatever that means to you. But I do think that you have something that is fulfilling, okay? And here's the thing, is that you could probably have that anyways if you hadn't done all this work, but it wouldn't feel the same. It wouldn't be the same. You would not have the gratitude that you do have. And so I do believe as we come down through here, and we have that little sailboat, and there's a continuous movement, okay? We come down through here, and I feel like, my goodness, there is absolutely this sense of achieving some of your greatest goals in life. And I think that probably in this next cycle, I keep seeing sevens here, 777. There's a sense of really winning something over in your life, right? Now, maybe not the lottery, but possibly maybe you play the lottery. I don't know. But I think really it's the sense of something that you've really been working hard on, maybe getting that new position at work. Maybe it is having more resources coming into your bank account, into your household. Maybe you're finishing projects that you have been trying to, get done. And maybe you're starting to do things you've been dreaming about doing. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe your family's expanding. Whatever it is. I think that I wonder too, because we have the stork down here. So I wonder if there is a child coming into the family. Now, this could be a grandchild. It could be extended family. It could be a good friend. But it could also be that you are having a child as well. But there is kind of that energy over here. Then we have the 1, 2, 3. So I wonder if this is a third child, maybe triplets, but I think maybe it's the third child. Okay. And let's see, what else do we have going on here? Now I know sometimes my bonus readings are a tiny bit different. I like to have a little more artistic license or freedoms in the bonuses. Do a little bit more talking about esoteric things. Let's see. I keep seeing this face here, kind of, and another face right here. I almost feel like there's a sense of being reunited. And there's a dog up here too, right in here. I feel like there's a sense of coming home to something. I think almost like you're like maybe a child or a younger person in the family coming home to visit, or you going to visit them. And I wonder, because there are a lot of holidays coming up again. I can't believe we're already at this part of the year. Right now we're currently in Ramadan. But then there are all of the festivals, and we have Easter, of course, and Orthodox Easter coming up, and all the feasts. This is, although I don't really observe Lent particularly, although I do always kind of try to keep myself from something, right? Make some kind of little sacrifice during Lent. The thing that I love the best about it is that there are a lot of fish fries where I live. They're every weekend, all weekend, and I love a good fish fry at the community center or the fire department or wherever they're having it at the church. So I could see maybe there is a family thing coming soon here. Okay. So we have a blackbird. We have kind of like a mer person. So we have a watery person in your life. Somebody who probably has watery placements. And I think that this is somebody who may be perceived to be fairly harsh. Maybe this is somebody who is pretty, they're emotional, but they have this almost kind of coldness to them at times. And I think that people perceive them as being overly stern. But I think that your relationship with them is that you kind of really do understand that it's their way of kind of loving people, because it's like a sense of wanting to guide people into the best direction. Although they maybe think they know what's best for people and they maybe go about it in the wrong way. I think it comes from like a really dear place. And I think that you are able to kind of see that. And I think that this is somebody who is really important to you. I think that this relationship, your kind of fieriness and, you know, kind of big love and passion and outgoing and all these things, you kind of balance each other out. Okay. And I think you bring a lot of fun into this relation. I almost wonder if this is like mom or dad, but I think that you're like one of the rare people who can really get them laughing and joking and there's a real enjoyment there. And so I think that, you know, these tea leaves are really wanting me to kind of go over that. I don't know, maybe they have transitioned or maybe you are missing them, but I am thinking of kind of like giggling and laughing in the kitchen, kind of like cooking and gossiping and laughing together and enjoying each other's each other's company. I was going to say each other's relationship. But no, yes, also that. As you can tell, I still have the flu here. I am doing my best, but yeah, it's lingering a little bit. Although I feel much better for sure. Now we do have that bird, okay, the blackbird, which let me just tell you, in this last week, all of the blackbirds have shown up. It is my happiest time in life, at least seasonally, when the grackles like show up. I love my grackles so much. They're kind of they're not the nicest birds, but they're not as like mean as the blue jays or anything. But they're just so beautiful, and the blue jay or the robin showed up, the red-winged blackbird showed up, a lot of starlings and things, and it's just such a beautiful time. If you are, I'm not even an amateur bird watcher, but I am always at the windows looking or out in the yard looking, and so excited to commune with my backyard spirit friends. And so when they showed up, I was excited. And it's a good energy. So, I feel like it's a kind of this ray of sunshine. It's absolutely brought in with this blackbird energy. And also an observer, right? They watch out over us. They kind of see what's going on. They're always just kind of hanging around, aren't they? And so, yes, I think that you are being watched over in the most loving way. Okay, so if you're one to feed the birds or not, I do implore you to maybe put a little handful of, bird food outside or something that's good for them, and maybe say a little hello and a little prayer. And I think that I am very superstitious in this way, that I feel like it's very important for us to be in harmony, to get along with our neighborhood creatures, our backyard friends, because they look out for us. They are the keepers of the histories, the news of the day. Their worlds overlap with ours, and they are so kind to allow us to exist in the way that we do. And you might think that's really silly, but it's true. Where it's, these are all symbiotic relationships, and we might not even pay attention to them at all. You might not notice birds ever, but they're there. They're there. And yeah. So, anyways, let's take a look at these are our gratitude cards. It's a little deck of appreciation by Lorraine Anderson. We're going to try some different ones tonight. I'm just going to stop where it feels right and we'll flip it over. It says, embrace challenges. Each obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Each obstacle is an opportunity for growth. And I think this really just vibes with this ability you've had to really get deep into that spiritual journey you have been on, that self-work. I don't think that you shy away from the hard stuff, you maybe don't want to do it all the time, obviously, but when it comes up, I think that you are somebody who faces it fully, and I think that's helped you become so successful in your endeavors, definitely. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I appreciate you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you, and if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean the world to me. I used to be able to get to every single one of them. I can't reply to all of them. There are so many. I try to heart them all. But I want you to know I do read every single one, okay? And I absolutely appreciate the love, the support. But even more than that, those of you who are sharing your hearts, and those of you who have something to add, you see something in the bowl, you have an interpretation, you have some kind of revelation and you want to share it. I love reading those ones. They're my favorite. And I've seen a lot of people really interested in reading tea leaves themselves. And I'm here for that. I love hearing people saying, oh, I'm seeing images in there. I'm interested in, trying to do this at home. And yeah, I wish everybody would give it a shot, So yes. All right, Taurus, I'm going to go ahead again and tell you I love you, and I do. And take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night. Good night. Good night.